What is up, everyone? Mark with Cardvox Academy here. And today, it's going to be kind of fun. We're listening to ERRA Cure. This came out, let's see, when did this come out? Very recently as of the recording of this video, 3 days ago. And I'm kind of pumped because I have not listened to ERRA since Impulse, which came out in 2011. There was a song on that album called Pattern Interrupt that I was obsessed with. And just from that point, I just started kind of getting into like heavier stuff. I've always kind of gone heavier than less heavy, heavier than less heavy, you know. And I think I got distracted by like Fallujah and Aegean and everything like this. But I'm not going to say I haven't listened to them at all, because I'm sure some of my students have shown me a clip of ERRA here or there, right? Because a lot of people like the vocals in ERRA. Don't blame them. But I'm not really familiar with their sound now, so I have no idea what to expect. Now, if you're new to the channel, I mentioned students. My name is Mark. I'm a vocal coach. I've been doing metal vocals. That's specifically what I teach. I've been doing that for I've been doing vocals for about 14 years, teaching for close to 5, I believe. And I teach people how to do all sorts of crazy cool vocal noises, you know, stuff as simple as or safely and efficiently, so they don't hurt themselves. And I take the reaction format here. I break it down. I have fun. I talk about vocal technique. And then for my own musical endeavors, I've been in a lot of different projects, but Kardashev has been the main one since day one. I've been the vocalist of that forever. Although sometimes, if you listen real close, you'll hear Nico, our guitarist, doing some oohs and ahs in the background. He does a good job. You do a good job, Nico. But anyways, that's all I really have. If you like the content, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Short little song, 3 minutes and 46 seconds. Let's check out ERRA Cure. Here we go. Okay, well, let's stop because we're getting some singing now. So, this song is dope. We're only about a third of the way through, but dang, this song is good. This song is really good. ERRA has clearly, no surprise, grown since 2011. So, opening vocals, it's so back when I was listening to ERRA more, back during Augment, which I think was their first release. I think it's their first release on Spotify. They had a very similar setup, like really cool kind of progressive riffs. This is a little bit more genty, a little bit more thally. If we want to boom, boom, the way they're hanging on to those bends. Dun, dun, dun. Now I don't play guitar, so if it's not a bend, just let me know and be nice. But they have a similar pattern, right? They have their harsh vocalist, who I think has changed, but I'm not sure, and clean singer, who I think is the same, but I'm not sure. We're going to find out. Anyways, let's talk about those first vocals. Very strong, very well done, well supported, like metalcore. Again, gent isn't a genre. Shut up. Genty type of vocal, right? And you could approach this through both a false chord or a fry sound. I've seen it done both ways, and both ways sound amazing. It's going to be a lot less about the way that you distort and a lot more about the way that you deliver, right? Now, what do I mean by that? I'm going to do it through like a false chord, like a compressed false chord realm, because that's what I do, right? But if I take like a normal false chord, it's not going to work. It's going to sound too aggressive, right? One thing that's really common in kind of sets like a lot of metalcore and progressive metal apart is that the vocals tend to be more voiced. Either they'll have true chord phonation, which is the sound of our voice all through the scream, or they'll have like very voiced onsets. And if we do just like a full-on false chord, we're not really going to get that. We're just going to get like, hey, 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 hey. And we also with false chord tend to like very death metal articulate, I'm going to cut your face off. Hey, hey, hey. Right? We tend to do a lot of stuff like that. But in these genres, right? It's a lot more like, and anthemic's not the word, but it's a lot more like calling out to somebody. It's a lot less based on being like aggressive and violent, and a lot more about being declarative, maybe. So instead of, down here, you're more like, yo, what's up? Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Mark. Welcome to the show. I talked about this in the Spirit Box video, Cellar Door, that I did recently. But I'm going to take my false chord, and I'm going to produce it like, wah, 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 why, right there, like that, bye, right? Now, from there, you can kind of squeeze it if you want to, right? But the point of it is, you don't have to squeeze too much, and it's going to be a lot about balanced airflow, not too much pressure here, but the way that you're delivering it emotionally, right? The way that you're delivering it emotionally, which is a lot more like, yo, what's up, bud? Versus like, come over here, I'm going to cut your head off, right? Anyway, let's keep going. I'm going to go back a little bit because I don't want to rob their singer. I wonder if he's still hitting those high notes. Back in Pattern Interrupt, I can't remember. He was hitting something crazy like an F5 or something like that with like a really, really strong heady mix. So let's see what he does here. Also, this video is sick. All right, I'm going to shut up. Here we go. Yeah, that's got to be the same singer. First of all, that was a perfect melody to put over that those guitars, right? So he's doing these very held out, boo, right? Obviously, he's not singing in his head voice that whole time, or like that falsetto. I mean, but that held out long legato approach to the vocals, while the guitars are being very like, there's a lot of movement, that dun 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 dun. That really made that section work extremely well. Not to mention the fact that he's got an amazing voice, very bright, very forward. And I loved his little flip into head. That was really cool. A lot of the ways, kind of building on that hype man. Now this guy, I've never spoken to him. I don't know for sure, but having listened to a little bit of ERRA, this guy, he's got to be a tenor, right? He's got to be a tenor. And I don't want us to feel locked in to our, I don't want us to feel locked into our voice types, right? Our voice types aren't jail cells, right? However, if you're a baritone like me, you ain't gonna hit those really well balanced notes without a really good warm up, right? Like in Kardashev, I'll get up there. I'll hit like, that C5, that B4, but that's after, really good vocal health for a week, lots of water, no acidic foods, no alcohol whatsoever, and a lot of really good sleep. So it ain't gonna happen in this video for sure. So I'm gonna keep this in my register, or in my comfort zone. But if we want to get some of those tones, one of the best ways to go about it is to think about talking, right? Hey, and make your voice very masky. Hey, what's up? What's up, guys? Hey. Now when I do that, hey, right when I'm there, my vocal folds are very, very relaxed. But what I'm doing is I'm smiling, lifting the back of the tongue, and I'm thinking about like having almost like an abrasive tone, right? Like if we think about like this sort of over-exaggerated, stereotypical New York accent, which I've taught a ton of people from New York. None of you sound like this, so I'm not making fun of you. And sometimes people are like, that's more Boston, that's more New Jersey. I'm like, I don't think it's any, because it's a purposefully goofy accent. But if we think about that very stereotypical, hey, I'm walking here, right? Hey, I'm walking here. Hey, Vinny. Oh, like we think about that. Generally speaking, as long as we're not squeezing here, we can feel that in the front. Hey, oh, Jimmy, yay, yay. And now we can use that, open up, amplify, and we don't have to squeeze here. So, yo, hey, yeah, yeah, right? And we can get really comfortable forward tones. And all we're doing is we're just doing a little bit of projection. Hey, right? And we're using space to amplify, not squeeze, not push. Space, support, even airflow to amplify. Anyways, let's keep going.
Constant motion in an altered state. Arriving at nothing but a steady pace. This is what I want, to live to the end without a stain. Rather than waiting on something real instead of a repurposed memories. When the body is shell, left to wander in the cell. We are invisible. Looking for a wish or I'm drowning. Frozen.
I know I'm pausing at a time that's going to make everybody mad, but I don't want to pause during what's about to come up. So first and foremost, I love the grit on that clean singer's voice that he leaned into, and him and the harsh vocalist were going together. That just melded so well. Beautiful. I'm going to talk more about the screamer though. So one thing that can be difficult for a lot of people when they finally get their false chord, right? Like you can make the sound, but you can't really do much with it, right? Hey, oh. You know, you can walk around your house and be like, hey, oh, hey. But like, you want to take it past that. You know, you don't want to just do like party trick grunts. One thing that can be difficult is managing airflow. And the other thing that can be difficult is placing it anywhere else, right? This dude, he's clearly got it up in more of a mid space, not like this low space that a false chord tends to want to live in. Hey, oh. There are a couple things you can do. The first, now this is after you can create false chord distortion without the sound of your voice in it, right? If you're creating your false chord and you still sound kind of like this, hey, hi, hey, this exercise is not for you. You don't need to do it. But if you can create your false chord distortion and you sound like, hey, I, right, you don't really hear a lot of mark in there. You don't hear my speaking voice because my vocal folds, they're not adducting. They're not coming together with medial tension to create the sound of our voice, right? It's all the tissues above that are flapping around. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, not hard, I'm going to go for that false chord, and then I'm going to stop. And I actually like doing this more with an ah vowel. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the smallest little, almost like a burp of false chord out. I'm going to go. And I'm going to play around with different shapes of my mouth. Did you hear at the end there? I kind of lifted it up. Now, part of the reason that I'm telling you don't do this if you are still holding your vocal folds together is because if we hold our vocal folds together and we go really hard, that can be very taxing and very straining on our voice. However, if my vocal folds are disconnected, and what's happening is I'm closing, and well, when I'm closing, they're touching, but when I'm opening, they're completely disengaged and airflow is rattling into the tissues above, then I'm good to go, right? So again, we can take this and when we can do that comfortably, we can start holding on to it a little bit longer. When you have that sort of higher place tone that I'm getting from sort of lifting up that soft palate in the back and going from like an to an throw some voice in there. By the shot, and then you start to get towards these tones that we're hearing here. Anyways, let's keep going. Dang. So for my guitar players in the crowd, so like I said earlier, I don't play guitar. I can play a couple intros to a couple Opeth songs on acoustic, and not very well. It sounds like, doo-dum, boom, doo-doo-doo-doo, dang it. Doo-dum, boom, doo-doo-doo-doo, bum, dang it. That's what it sounds like when I play guitar. Were those pinch harmonics that I was hearing? Those because they kind of sounded like pinch harmonics, but maybe it was the guitar tone that made them sounded like a little crunchier than a pinch harmonic would. It sounded awesome. I loved that riff. That was so sick. Shout out to the whole band. This song was super, super cool. This is a short little reaction video. 17 minutes. I'm usually reacting to stuff and it's like 30 minutes long, but I guess 3.5 minute song. What are you going to expect, right? Excellent fundamental false chord sounds here. Excellent fundamental, and like I said, you can approach this fried. It doesn't actually fucking matter. Most screams, it doesn't really matter as much as we tend to think it does, how you approach it. It's a lot more how you deliver it, right? It's a lot more about the emotion that you convey, right? But anyway, excellent work. If you want to go for these like metalcore, these more like poppy type of metal vocals, sometimes people get in a little bit of a tiff when I say poppy, and I don't know why, because pop is a great form of music and there's popular metal which this falls into, right? You really want to start with whatever distortion mode you're doing first without your voice. So maybe you're at home going like, hey, ooh, hey, or maybe you're at home going, both of those. You don't have to lean into it too much. And then once you can do those a little bit more comfortably, you can lean into it. Hey, then you can put them together. And that takes time. Let it take time. None of this is going to be super fast. That's all I have. Excellent song. ERRA Cure. Super sick. I clearly have to get back into ERRA. Many thanks. Much love. I'm out.